Well, hello, Dirtfish Rally friends. The final day here at Rally Finland. We talked about it in last night's review. 41 kilometres. Hardly worth getting out of bed for, was it? Oh, how wrong were we? Possibly one of the most dramatic days we have seen in many, many years. And it was all going nicely until the penultimate stage. Our rally leader, Rovanperä, pinged it off at the end of the stage. At the start of the stage, Elvyn Evans, he put it into the trees. David Evans, an unmitigated, well, not quite unmitigated, close to unmitigated disaster for Toyota.
This is kind of what you're kind of thinking, isn't it? And it's exactly what Sébastien Ogier was saying. You know, there are long faces everywhere in Toyota, and they've won Rally Finland. Seb's won for the second time, and there's not a lot of joy there, Cole, because Rovanperä has dominated this event. He absolutely has deserved his victory here, and he's been robbed. And he genuinely has been robbed. You know, that rock in the penultimate stage, he was committed to that long left-hand corner. The car was all loaded up. He couldn't do a thing. You know, quite a lot of time, BK, maybe even you've said it yourself, there was a rock in the middle of the road. I couldn't avoid it, and you kind of know that actually he could have done something. There was nothing he could do. And he's been spat into the trees, robbed of a win. You know, the whole place, in the blink of an eye, the atmosphere around this place changed completely.
You know, he is a very positive young man. He doesn't let too much get to him. He knows, he knows what he's about. He knows how good he is. But my goodness me, we saw a different Cali, a vulnerable Rovanperä, I would say, as in his emotional response.
Yeah, probably the first time ever, Cole, because we've never been in that position with Cali where, you know, okay, a couple of years ago he retired. Remember when he retired? He didn't retire. He went off the road in Sweden in the Skoda. And it was like, yeah, but nothing like this. You know, at no point in his career has he had this massive disappointment. Last year in Finland, he had an enormous accident, but he kind of understood what had happened and was partly responsible for that. This time, he was robbed. And I've never spoken to him and spoken to Harry, his father, and, you know, you totally felt for them. And you're right, Cali was the most emotional I've ever seen him. And just, you're lost for words. We saw Colin McRae, famously, you know, he led Rally GB, the RAC Rally, 91, 92, 93, and then finally in 94 he won it. Drivers go through this. Famously, of course, Volkswagen in Germany tried and finally did it. It will come.
Well, we did catch up with Rovanperä stage side after that incident. If you want to see that video, press that button. It's actually across there above David's head. Press the button there. That will take you straight through to that video. Now, we talked about it being an unmitigated disaster. It wasn't just Rovanperä. Elvyn Evans, a very different situation, BK. Evans had a really bad Friday. Why did he have a bad Friday? A bad Saturday here. No points in terms of Saturday points. He had to push out there today. He did push, was going okay until, again, that penultimate stage. We caught up with him. It was an odd one, wasn't it?
He seemed a little bit calm for the situation. You know, it kind of seemed like maybe a defeated man at that point. The emotions maybe had run dry yesterday, and he just didn't have the emotion to show us there. But first corner in the stage is just, I mean, he's got to feel terrible about it, but what happened?
What happened? It was a very strange one. You know, it was a corner, it was a left-hand corner, flat on the first pass, took it flat on the second pass, and he put it off. You know, is that what happens there, BK? Because the stages do evolve, we know that. We absolutely know that. The line might change fractionally, but normally the corner stays the same, as in, you know, how you, in terms of your notes, you know, flat left is a flat left.
Exactly, yeah. And there was a little bit of moisture in the roads. Like, we weren't seeing any dust this weekend whatsoever, so it was pretty slick. And what we saw was he went a little bit wide on the exit of that corner and maybe just got out into the grease, kind of some moss type stuff. Then the car over-rotated and there was really nothing he could do at that point. And then he hit the first tree, snapped, spun around, hit the next tree, and at that point the car was basically disintegrated in the rear corner.
Not a chance to go on. David, what does it mean? What does it mean for his championship hopes? Are they over?
No, they're not over, Cole, because Thierry, you know, we've got some very tough rallies to come. We've got.
Can I qualify that question?
Yeah.
And what I'm going to say, this will seem harsh and you will castigate me for it, but for me it does seem over, because We needed more from him this weekend, and it didn't come. We needed more over the last 3 rallies. It hasn't come. You know, if we're talking about Tanak, I would say it isn't over, because he can do miracles. He can win the next 4 rallies. I cannot see Elvyn Evans winning the next 4 rallies, which is what he has to do.
Okay, I can. I think he has the ability. I think when we take away, when you look at him, he was 10 seconds behind Calais. Admittedly, that gap was growing, but anything could still happen at 10 seconds. The accident today, and I'm not just sitting here defending Elvyn Evans because he's got a great surname. It's simply the fact that there is still a long way to go. Elvyn's had a pretty bad run. I think you're right. You know, we haven't seen the absolute maximum. We haven't seen the best of him, and you could reach for this thing that now maybe he was then putting it all on the line today, and look what happened. He crashed. I don't think that's it. I think potentially when we look at it, when the team looks at the data, there is something else in that, because it looks very strange.
Yeah.
But he's not out of it categorically. Mathematically, he is not out of this championship fight.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The championship BK has been turned on its head here. Turned on its head, that is not correct, because it is still clearly Neuville that leads, but
it's kind of what you expected before the event, was that we were going to see some extreme change-ups a little bit, right?
Maybe we didn't expect this though, eh? I don't know, I certainly didn't expect this. I thought if anyone was going to have trouble here, it would be a Hyundai and potentially Thierry.
But it has been 2 Hyundais have gone. This is the mad
2
thing.
Hyundais have gone and they've extended their leads by 19.
How does that work? And Sébastien Ogier is dead right. Let's have a look at the points the system here, you know? How can that be? That Toyota, okay, they've slipped up, but they've won the rally and they've gone away again with less points.
Yeah, Ogier's point that he makes is that, you know, we have to recognise the value of a rally win, and right now this season we don't. We don't. Not in terms of manufacturers, and certainly not in terms of the Drivers' Championship. And you know, when Sébastien Ogier makes a clear point, everyone has to listen.
Yep.
I'm sorry, they have to listen.
They do.
And he's come up with a very sensible solution, and I'm sure you'll read all about that on dirtfish.com. You know what? He hasn't won this event since 2013. Before Latvia, he hadn't done a fast gravel rally in the Rally 1 cars. You add all that up, you put it into an equation and you say, if you're asking the computer to work out whether he can win, and he has done.
He's done it, and he's done it by doing what Ogier does best, by always being there. You know, just not taking the massive ultimate risk to chase Calais. That wouldn't have been sensible this weekend. To be fair, you know, he'd probably settled for being behind Elvyn as well, but he's there. He's always there, isn't he? And you know, he drives the drive of a champion.
Right now it's more bitter than sweet, if I'm honest. I even struggle to feel really happiness inside me right now. As a team, we definitely don't get what we deserve this weekend. I feel for my team, of course. I feel for Kalle and Jone. We're in a different league the whole weekend, super speed. But motorsport is tough sometimes. I've experienced that many times in my career also, and this stone in the wrong place ruined everything for them today. It's strange because usually if you win Rally Finland you should have a massive smile on your face, but right now it's still not there. Probably after a bit of time I will still be happy and satisfied with what I have done this week, but not ideal.
We have talked about Toyota. Let's move on to Hyundai and the man who finished second, Thierry Neuville. You know, we talk about his ability. He's a brawler. He's a street fighter.
Yeah.
He never gives up. He's got a degree of tenacity which is absolutely admirable.
Yeah.
And you know what? It doesn't matter. People will criticise him for all sorts of things, for moaning a lot in Latvia, and he did moan a lot. But you know, it's all part of the game, and there's no one plays the game better than Thierry Neuville.
It's frustrating immediately. You know, you look on social media, people calling him lucky Neuville again. No, sorry, you know, he's made his own luck again. He's stuck at it.
He has.
Just like he has all year, he's stuck at it. He's kept himself there. The car hasn't worked here this weekend. You know, the guys that you would really have fancied here, Tanak and Lappi, they're in the trees. There's one guy that's there, and for me, if this is a decisive moment in the championship, it's Neuville's, because he's been there and he's absolutely delivered a performance that is so merit-worthy.
We have seen throughout the whole weekend a lot of ups and downs. We have had a roller coaster of emotions all weekend, such as the stages have been roller coaster all weekend. It was very challenging for us. I felt the pressure very early in the race because my 2 teammates went off the road, and we were asked to keep the car on the road and take a clever approach, which was our goal from the beginning. when we felt especially that, yeah, the Toyota was just a little bit faster this weekend, and we couldn't follow up without taking big risks. So, yeah, that's what we did. But then lots of turnarounds again today.
From a championship point of view, is it yours to lose now?
We take only 1 point less than Ogier, and it shows again how important the power stage can be. We were losing a few points on Ogier today, and in the power stage we basically were able to turn it around, and at the end took more points than him there, and lose only 1 point at the end of the weekend.
Third place. Guys, let's talk a little about our very odd podium, the strangest podium perhaps ever. Help us out here, folks. It's a strange one. We've come to Finland, 2 Frenchmen and a Belgian on the podium. If you can remember a more unusual and unexpected podium at Rally Finland, let us know. I'm sure there is one somewhere.
The Finns will be crying into their carrier tonight, won't they? I mean,
They really
it
will.
is an odd one.
Do you know what, Brento? You're very good friends with Adrian Formeau, Mon Ami as we call him. He does still think that his championship chances are still there.
It's still possible. You know, Neuville could have a couple incidents in the next couple events, and Adrian's right there to pick up the pieces.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what we saw this event, was keeping the pressure on 4th, 5th place, and that's what he said his plan was.
And great testament again to M Sport is what they okay, who's that call from?
Harry Rovanperä.
Harry
Honestly,
Rovanperä.
Harry
I will
Rovanperä
come
is
back
calling
to
him
you.
right now.
I don't get any distractions on my watch.
I'm
Double
very sorry.
take.
Do you
We
get
need to-
distractions on your
No.
We
watch?
need to get
No.
through this. I need to call Harry back. Sorry about that, Harry.
Sami Paeri, again, was an absolute joy this weekend. And do you know what? Winning stages, a second place in one stage, showing that he's got the maturity to handle this car. Brento, it was a joy to watch.
Yeah, you know, it was great to see coming out of the gate hot, losing the wing. It could have all been over right there.
Oh, it could have been
You know,
awful,
it could have been
couldn't it?
over for
Yeah.
the whole car.
Yeah.
His rally could have ended. To see him bounce back on that second loop right away and get that stage win, it was definitely an iconic moment, I think.
You know, your head could have gone down after that. It was a big thing, and you know that would have been a big bang when he'd taken the rear air off, and then trying to drive the car without that rear wing to pick yourself up. It was tremendous.
Well, what about our remaining Rally 1 drivers? Well, Takamoto Katsuta, who so much was expected from this weekend, he had a great day, a real confidence-building day today. Let's see what he can do when we return in 4 weeks' time in Greece. The battle for WRC2. Who is on a little bit of a heater, BK?
I mean, I think we got 2 different people on a heater today.
2 heaters.
Two different heaters. You know, you never walk away from the road when you're on a heater. And Oliver Solberg was definitely on a heater today. Felt pretty good. Had that little throttle issue yesterday that we thought maybe might lose some confidence. Didn't see any of that today.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic watching him this weekend. He exceeded enormously, really, what I thought he could do here this weekend. It was all about seat time in these cars, and maybe we were slightly deceived, because I think he spent quite a lot of time in that car. I think he's tested that car quite a lot. I think he's helped with the development.
Probably took it home from work every night, didn't
Probably, and we know there's some quite nice roads between here and his hometown. Really, some quite nice roads. So, geez, honestly, one of the most dramatic Finlands I have, I can recall for many, many years, particularly today, that final day. BK, your first Rally Finland, what will you take away?
I mean, obviously spending so much time on Rovanperä, we didn't make it to see any action, but seeing the videos now, we've kind of studied the stage, making the video. You can see it on our YouTube channel, the Secto video up here, right here. Is this the corner? Yes.
Left-hand corner,
Yes,
I get it wrong
exactly.
sometimes. It's
Yeah.
above David's head.
But you know, just having that stage return in its entirety was such a talk of the weekend from everyone. All the drivers talking about it. It's so iconic. We've been seeing it for so many years. It was great to get out there and actually experience that a little bit and see it firsthand.
David, your memories of this weekend, your takeaway?
For me, overwhelmingly, working with Sector Automotive.
Yeah, it was fun.
You know, this sounds a little bit corporate, but people like Matthias Henkeler, Stefan Henkeler, Carlos and Sammy, just great people that have this sport and this event right at their heart, and they've taken us, you know, under their umbrella. We've worked with them, and just the opportunity for you to go in the car with Heikki Kovalainen. It's been an amazing week. We've had lots of Secto content, the Oinapoja video. It's not the end. We've got so much more to come. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel. Stay tuned to all of our social channels, to dirtfish.com. It's all coming your way.
It has been an absolute joy bringing you all the news from Rally Finland. We'll see you all again in 4 weeks' time.
Hooray!